Hello friend. Today I have taken one topic from Indian economy. The name of the topic is globalization and Indian agriculture. First, we will try to understand the scenario of Indian agriculture, and later on we will try to understand the relation between globalization and Indian agriculture. Indian agriculture is a state subject. In our constitution, there are three lists: state list, union list, and concurrent list. As agriculture is a state subject, state government has more power regarding the agriculture than central government. Agriculture employs 60% of Indian population, yet it contributes only 20% to India's GDP. Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh from 1995 to 2004, made state level agreement with the World Bank. World Bank provided a loan of $830 million in exchange to series of reforms in Andhra Pradesh agriculture. Mr. Naidu envisaged corporate style agriculture in Andhra Pradesh and implemented World Bank liberalization policies with great enthusiasm. The same is followed by different Indian states. Now, we try to discuss the relationship between globalization and Indian agriculture. The biggest inputs for the farmers is seeds. With liberalization, India's seed market was open to global agri-businesses like Monsanto, Syngenta, Cargill, and so on. This had adversely affected the Indian farmers. They had affected in the following way. As Indian seed market is a unregulated market, seed prices shot up. Secondly, fake seeds made an appearance in a big way. At the same time, these companies like Monsanto, Syngenta, Cargill, and so on had introduced different type of technologies. For example, Terminator technology that had also adversely affected the farmers. Before globalization, farmers were using the seeds of their previous season. So automatically their input cost for the seeds was limited or very less. But after globalization, these farmers has to purchase seeds every year, and automatically it has increased farmers' seeds cost. Secondly, after 1990, we had introduced globalization. Under this globalization, Indian government had introduced structural adjustment program. These structural adjustment program were imposed by World Bank and IMF on Indian government. Under this structural adjustment program, Indian government had to make the devaluation of Indian currency by around 25%. Because of devaluation of Indian currency, Indian crops became very cheap and attractive in global market and led to export drive. Now, farmers were encouraged to shift from growing a mixture of traditional crops to export oriented cash crops like chili, cotton, and tobacco. These crops, like cash crops, chili, cotton and tobacco, needs far more inputs of pesticides, fertilizers and water than traditional crops. So, farmers again cost increase in terms of pesticides, fertilizers and water. Similarly, liberalization policies has reduced pesticide subsidy. Again, this had incurred the costs of farmers in agriculture. Next, in 2001, India completely removed quantitative restrictions on imports of almost 1,500 items including food. As a result, cheap import flooded the Indian market. It pushes prices of crops like cotton and paper down. Again, in 1969, major Indian banks were nationalized and priority was given to agrarian credit, which was hitherto severely neglected. After globalization and liberalization, most of the Indian banks, they were listed in share market, that is Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. Now, as these banks were listed in share markets, these banks have to declare their profit and loss after every 3 months. So, because of the pressure of investors, these banks had the tendency to show their profit after every 3 months. So, automatically, because of this liberalization, efficiency being utmost importance and agriculture lending was deemed as being low profit and inefficient. So, credit extended to farmers was reduced dramatically. A lack of rural infrastructure deterred private banks from setting up rural branches. This has reduced rural spending as a result of liberalization policies. To conclude, the larger problem that Indian farmers face are the result of high cost, low productivity, falling public investment, poor market development, and ultimately limited purchasing power among 1.3 billion people. So, we have already discussed this, the relation between globalization and Indian agriculture. So, in the long term, it is found that this globalization has not benefited the Indian farmers, and that is also reflected in the farmer suicide. So, we will try to understand the globalizations and farmer suicide topic in our next video. Thank you for watching my video.